46. While he yet talked to the people, teaching the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. That's his mother, Mary. Y'all be talking about them Hail Marys in the Catholic Church and all that. Mary almost come before Mashiach Yahushua. So his mother and his brethren, his blood brothers wanted to see him. Talk with him, speak to him with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without. They standing outside, desiring to speak with thee. They want to speak with thee. Your mother and your brother want to speak to you, O Mashiach Yahushua. But he answered and said unto him, that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren? He said, who is my mother and who is my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples that was listening to him teach the word of the Most High. And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. That's a cut on his mother and his brethren. But let's read this again, where we started from. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. So what is he saying concerning his mother and his brethren? I'm hearing it clearly that he's saying that they wasn't doing the will of the Most High. You know, that's why he said a man's enemy shall be they of his own household, his own family. He said, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. Ooh. That's a sharp cut. That's deep. Turned to his disciples and said, this is my mother and my brethren. That's why you look at how, you know, we have family members, but they not really, they heathens. They don't get it twisted now. Because if you following the way of the heathen, you are heathen. Just like them. You join unto them. Look at Matthew 25 and 31. Matthew 25, 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory. Now we know Revelation 9:16 says he's coming up with 200 million angels. 200,000, which is 200 million angels. He's going to come in his glory, and he's going to sit on the throne of his glory. Powers and authority. Listen. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them, all nations. He's going to separate all the nations, one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. So he's going to put all the nations, the Arabs, the Edomites, the so-called white people, the Chinese, Japanese, all of them going to be separated, but they're going to be amongst each other. He's going to separate all this. That's why I say he's not with integration. But see, everybody want to think that this great melting pot of America is the way. But it's not the way of the Most High. Look, go to Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Let's see what the Most High did. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, that's their lands. Divided means separate. Not integrated, but segregated. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated, there it is, separated the sons of Adam. He didn't integrate no one, he separated the sons of Adam. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. For the Most High's portion is his people. Jacob, who was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, is the lot of his inheritance. So you see what he did? He gave all the other nations their land once he gave the Israelites their land. He separated all the nations. He didn't integrate. That's why he said when he come back, he gonna separate the nations again. He's going to put the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. Now we know Matthew 15:24 says, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the Most High is not, and the Mashiach Abishai is not about integration or interracial marriages at all. That's why he gave every nation men their women. Matthew 35 and 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. He'll set the sheep on the right hand and the goats on the left. So the goats is defined in, and it's not just necessarily just dealing with what we're going to read here and go to Daniel's 8 and 21. It's not necessarily, this is a mindset. It says, and the rough goat, Daniel's 8:21, and the rough goat that you're going to put on the left side is the king of Grecia. And the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. You read about the first king in 1 Maccabees 1 and 1. Alexander the Greek. The first king. So it's talking about the Greeks or the Edomites, the so-called white people, the Caucasians. So the rough goat is the king of Grecia, the Greeks. And the great horn with a power, horn means power, hip talk, horn of a bull, horn of a ram, power. That is between his eyes is the first king, who's Alexander the Greek. So it's not only talking about Israelites and Caucasian people or Edomites. No, it's talking about the mindset. That mindset, because remember it tells you in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. They were made for the purpose of what they serving, the day of evil, straight up. You gonna tell me this is the day of righteousness now? I don't think so. That's why Mashiach Abishai coming in righteousness, to judge and make war, to set righteousness up on this earth forever and ever and ever. See, but people want to think that it's going to be any other way. It's not going to be any other way. But the way he said it's going to be, point blank. No and ifs or buts about it. It's where it's going to be. So, and I say that because you look at, as we go back to Matthew, the 25th chapter, verse 33, it says, since you're going to separate the sheep from the goats, he said, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. He's going to put the sheep on the right hand and the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand. who are the children of Israel. Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you when? From the foundation of the world. The kingdom been prepared for the children of Israel from the foundation of the world, he said. Why? For I wasn't hungry. This is key, brothers and sisters. You got to hear this. See, I was hungry, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. So you gave him something to eat. So you gave him something to drink. So he was a stranger. You took him in. Gave him a house for him to live in. Naked, meaning he didn't have any clothes. And you clothed me. Gave him some clothes. I was sick. He was sick. And you visited me. Bought him some soup. Bought him something to help him with his sickness. I was in prison. And you came unto me. And visited him in prison. He's saying, then shall the righteous answer him. This the sheep that's on the right hand, who are the righteous, that are keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, having faith in the Mashiach. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Mashiach, when saw we thee and hungry, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Say, when this happened? When did this happen? I don't remember this. That's what they said. I don't remember this. Or when saw we thee sick, or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king, who is the Mashiach Yahushua, shall answer and say unto them, verily, truly, I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, of the 12 tribes of Israel, ye have done it unto me. This is Mashiach Abishai telling you what we should be doing as brothers. If you real or you fake, Jake, then hey, you ain't gonna understand this. You don't mean anything to you. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, the goats, or the goat's state of mind. Willie Lynch in our people. Stockholm Syndrome in our people. The religious instructions to the Negroes in the United States of America in our people. All caught up in one. Or rolling with one or the other. Offness, destroyed for lack of knowledge. No matter how much you think you know. That's what he's saying to you. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. You rolling with them. You rolling the mindset that they have made you have to not like your people, to not be a brother, not be a sister. Hating on your brother and your people, but you skinning and grinning in the enemy's face. You know how to act because you act right when you go to your damn job. When you got to deal with business, whatever you got to deal with, you know how to act in. But when it comes to your brothers, or the Israelites, you frown and you hate on your brothers. It's you. You're a goat. Straight up, you the goat. Prove it. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angel. You the children of the devil. Because it's prepared for the devil and his angels. You part of his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no meat. You ain't think about nobody but yourself. So he was hungry, you ain't gave him nothing. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you took me not in. Naked, and you clothed me not. Sick, and in prison. Sick and in prison, and ye visited me not. Then shall they also answer him, saying, Hamashiach Yahushai, when saw we thee hungry? When we saw you hungry? When they say you a gluttonous and a wine baby, when saw we you hungry? Or a thirst, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister unto thee? It never happened with him. So that's why they coming back, hey, when saw we you like this? That we didn't come and help you. We wasn't there for you. But listen how he cut them. Then shall he answer them, saying, verily, truly I say unto you, inasmuch as ye did it not to one, it said, one of the least of these. Remember the poor brother, the poor sister, the one that don't have nothing that can give you back whatever you can give them. One of the least of these, ye did it not to me. That's a cut. And it's probably cutting some of you out there because you don't think about nobody but yourself. It behooves you to really look at our people. Everywhere you go, we there. The poor, man. You say you got the poor always, and we still here. Everywhere you go, you see them. You got a little something you can help. He said you're doing it to them, you're doing it to him. When you didn't do it to them, you ain't done it to him. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment. But the righteous that see our brothers and sisters in need, have a need, and give something. I find our people feel like, well, I'm poor, so I'm not going to help nobody else. But you have something. You have something. I mean, you drinking, you're doing whatever you eating a whole lot. Take a whole lot of food to feed you. You doing things for yourself. Well, we take a little bit of something. I know you cannot tell me it can't be done because it's been done. I was doing it for year in and year out, so I know it could be done. Just put a little aside to do something to help our people beside ourselves. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into life eternal. Let me give you a case scenario, because go to Isaiah 13. I'll show you. When I say the mindset of the goats, Isaiah 13 and 14. Now this is dealing with Babylon. And it shall be as the chase roe. It's going to be as a chased deer. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. Ain't nobody going to want to be bothered with the Edomites at this time. When the Most High hyped us up to bring forth his prophecies, coming to be, as we reading right here, they shall every man turn to his own people. Like when he come, he say he gonna gather all nations, separate them one from another. A shepherd divided the sheep from his goats. Put the sheep on the right hand, goats on the left. Everybody gonna be joined to their own people. So everybody gonna be joined to their own people. And flee everyone into his own land. What land we have to go to? Israel, Judah. Nobody told us to come home nowhere. Sent for us nowhere. No way, shape, or form. But everybody gonna flee into their own land. Listen, everyone that is found, verse 15, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. Everyone that's found gonna be killed. Thrust through. And everyone that is joined unto them, you want to be a goat? In the mindset? And you against the righteousness of the Most High? His word, his laws, statutes, commandments, the faith of the Mashiach of Shai, fearing the Most High, crying to him, humbling yourself with humility and a broken and contrite spirit. Everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. Gonna fall by the sword. I just told you he's going to cast them into the everlasting fire. Whether they take the dead carcass and throw it into the fire, or you just take them alive and throw them in the fire. Those that have the mindset of the wicked. Understand this, we're going to have all nations, a remnant of them too. That's going to serve us. Say the kingdom and the nation of the kingdom that will not serve us shall perish. Yeah, they shall be utterly wasted. Isaiah 60:12. So yeah, we're going to have a remnant, but all you that's joined unto them, he's telling you. And everyone that is joined unto them, you want to be a goat? In the mindset, do you think like them? Shall fall by the sword. He's going to kill you. Because you're going to be a sinner. He said, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. Verse 16, their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled. Their houses are going to be robbed. And their wives ravished. The ravished wives going to be raped. Sad. So you got a choice. It's still a choice of life or death. Any choice we have. So Matthew 12:50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. So you look at this, that's why he said, that a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Go to Matthew 10:36. Matthew 10:36. And a man's foes, which is enemies, shall be they of his own household. He said, he that loveth father, you love your father or mother more than me, is not worthy of me. That's if they're going to get in the way of you making it to everlasting life and having your relationship with a Mashiach Yahushai. So you ain't worthy of him. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me, you going to compromise your ability to be able to make it to everlasting life for your son or your daughter, showing that you love them more than a Mashiach, is not worthy of me. Say, and he that taketh not his cross, deal with this affliction and all the things you got to go through and being in this truth and follow after me, is not worthy of me. He that findeth his life shall lose it, and he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. He that receiveth you receiveth me. If you in the spirit of Bahasham Mashiach Yahushua, not just saying it like it's a saying. So Lord, we reach the Most High. Say, he that receiveth you receiveth me. And he that receiveth me receiveth him that sent me. You receive Hamashiach Yahushua, you receive the Most High. He that receiveth a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet's reward. You're going to be rewarded. And he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. And whoever it is, shall give to drink unto one of these little ones that he loved, that's loving the Most High, keeping his commandments, a cup of cold water only, just a cup of cold water only, in the name of a disciple, verily I say unto you, he shall in no wise lose his reward. you know you're going to be blessed. You're going to receive a reward from the Most High. Hallelujah. That's what it's all about, man. Can you imagine? You know, you have to have faith to believe it, though. If you don't, then it's not going to happen with you. You're not supposed to do it grudgingly either. You're supposed to be overwhelmed to do this. Go to Job, the book of Job. The 6th chapter. And verse 14. It reads, to him that is afflicted, pity. Him that is afflicted, going through affliction, pity. Should be showed from his friend. Going through a lot of changes. You're afflicted. Pity should be showed from his friend. But he forsaketh the fear of the Almighty. My brethren have dealt deceitfully. So my brethren done dealt deceitfully. They done lied. As a brook and as the stream of brooks, they pass away. See? You see it going by, where'd that water go? It's gone, it's moved on. Pass away. Deceitfully mean you a lie. And we know, go to Revelations 22, last book of the Bible. Revelation 22 and 15. For without the kingdom are dogs and sorcerers. Let's not talk about no Rin Tin Tin and no Lassie. Talking about dogs, the wicked heathen of all nations, and sorcerers, witches, and whoremongers. Those jumping from woman to woman, don't have no commitment of marriage or anything of that nature. Just jump from bed to bed. And women that's married and jumping in bed with some other man. And murderers, you that don't love your brother, you a murderer. And those that actually kill and murder unjustly, gonna be without the kingdom. And idolaters, those that don't believe in the most high power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and bow down to something else in their mind or whatever they think, they created their own power. You're dealing with idolatry. The first word is I. You your idol. And whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. If you love and maketh a lie, you make a lie up to tell people in front of the whole congregation, in front of the whole nation, you ain't going to the kingdom. Repent. You need to repent. Just let you know. That's why I say our people dealing deceitfully. I mean, they lie. They'll lie. They'll lie in a minute. Psalms 133. Psalms 133. So we can't be like this. You want to make it, you can't be like this. You got to be examples of righteousness and keeping the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. It says, a song of decree of David. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You can't dwell in unity if you have among you those that are deceivers, like we saying, you know, we have them, we had them, we have them, we're going to have them. Till Mashiach Shai just cast them into the lake of fire. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard. This unity of the brothers. Hood. That went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Most High Mashiach Shai commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Hear that? He commanded a blessing to live forever and ever and ever. And we chose death instead of life. Until this day. Go to the book of Colossians. Colossians 2, the 2nd chapter. We chose life rather than, we chose death rather than life. The majority, I say the 2/3 of our people. Because 1/3 is always going to choose life. But we are a minority. Compared to 2/3, that's double the amount of the 1/3. Colossians, the 2nd chapter, the 8th verse. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, vain lies. Philosophy, like brothers be trying to be someone. Want to look at me, look what I done. The hell what you done? You ain't done as much as you need to do to make it to the kingdom. We ain't none of us done that. So you know what number you are. I keep saying it to you. Ain't nobody responding though. Because you don't know what number you are, the 1/3. You don't know what number you are, the 144,000 of your tribe, if it is your tribe. Going, what number you going to be going through the gate that has your tribe name on it? You got to go through the gate. What brother are you going to be in that figure? You don't know. None of us. So don't put yourself there. Better put yourself with the 2/3. As Ezra did, Daniel did, and all the prophets did. For the people that haven't made it. That's marvelous in the eyes of the Most High. You don't count yourself as one of the righteous. These are the things that the Spirit has brought that people are just bypassing, like you already there in the kingdom. But you can't say what number you are. That's why you got to humble yourself before the Most High bring that humility on you. He said, hey, he going to get the proud. Can't be prideful. You can't be the one that's going to have other people follow you and then now they prideful like you or worse than you. That's what happened. The leaders are not as worse as some of the people that they actually teaching. Going out there being buck wild. They can't answer that question. Don't get no attitude with me. I'm just telling you something to think about so you will humble yourself before the Most High. Bring that wrath. It was said, beware lest any man spoil you. Spoil, like rotten milk, man. Just let that milk sit out there in the sun and just let it get nasty. Smell it. It's nasty. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Vain, worthless lies, telling lies. After the tradition of men. Yeah, everybody want to be lifted up. Want to be somebody. Mashiach Shai made himself of no reputation. So he ain't caring about. That's why he said, don't tell nobody I done it. I've healed you. Don't tell nobody I done it. He want to care about nobody knowing that he did this and did that and all that. That's vain deceit. That's vain. That's worthless glory. Vain glory. So I say, let somebody else lift you up, not yourself. Don't look to lift yourself up. You got your reward. When you lifted yourself up, that's your reward. You ain't got nothing coming. That's why I say, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, worthless lies, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world. You're afraid of the world. You at war with the Most High. You're the enemy of the Most High. The rudiments of the world. And not after Mashiach. See? That you ain't after him. That's why I say that's why I went into go to Romans. Go to Romans, the book of Romans 16 and 17. Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them. Say, mark them. Which cause divisions. Mark them which cause divisions talking against the brothers, and offenses, and offending people by their vain deceit, by their vain glory, by their vain lies. And contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, we have learned how to be righteous. You got to keep the laws. You got to, we say everybody got to come back to the laws, and you're not doing it yourself. And it's clear because you're a lie in front of everybody. Or you do something that's contrary to the law, and you're being exposed. Or you cause division and you cause offenses. When we one nation, ain't no one camp say, oh, this the only camp gonna be making it to the kingdom. I don't think so. Just the only church that's gonna make it to the kingdom. I don't think so. That sounds like religions to me. We the ones have the truth. We the only ones gonna make it. We the 144,000. No, you can't even name 12 tribes of Israel. But they the 144,000. There's 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel, which make up to 144,000. 12,000 times 12 is 144,000. Can't even name them. But yet still, they the only ones have it. Sad. It says, now I beseech you, brethren, talking to we the Israelites, mark them which cause divisions and offenses, contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. You have the right to avoid some people because they cause divisions and they're offending all the time. Say, avoid them. For they that are such serve not our power, Mashiach. They ain't rolling with a Mashiach. They not Mashiachim. That's why you don't hear them say it. They ain't rolling with Mashiach. But their own belly, their own way of exalting themselves. Listen. And by good words, they speak very eloquent, and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. They deceiving the hearts of the simple. Simple-minded people. See, you can't be those simple-minded people that's being falling into the trap of those that speak very well, eloquent, and so forth, and know the scriptures. Satan knows the scriptures. He knows scriptures. You might not know them, like we supposed to know them, but he knows scriptures. He came, Mashiach Shai with a scripture of what King David had said, when he was tempting them. That's just all that we know that they wrote at that time. But, if he appears as an angel of light, what you think? No, one of his ministers also appear as an angel of light, what you think? The light is what? We know the light is the law of the Most High. And the Mashiach Shai is the light. So he appearing like he's doing what's right according to the Most High, but he's not. To fool you simple-minded people, then which one is it? Which one rolling with Satan and which one not? You don't know. All you're doing is sitting there following whatever you think you following. And you don't know these people once they close the book. See if you can reach out to them and kick it with them in their real life. Some of you go to churches, some of you be involved, you're going to never talk to the preacher on the telephone. But you will come against an Israelite that have more truth in one day than they can teach all their life, than taught all their life. And y'all think y'all in the spirit. The Most High going to deal with you though. But you don't fear the Most High. But when he start dealing with you, you start feeling the wrath of the Most High coming upon you, behind you going against the Most High's messengers, then you're going to think about it. Or you still going to be ignorant, going to be simple. The minds of the simple, that these brothers are fooling and they're dealing with, whoever they are, these men out there have our people, masses of people lost in the sauce, just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, talking about they got the Holy Ghost and all that stuff. Come on, man. Give them the Bible, they can't show you nothing. You tell them what it says, oh, I've been doing this my way. Thou is themselves. Straight up. Sad, but it's real, people. That's why you see how people, they caught up in the rudiments of men, the precepts of men, How I feel, following their heart. They still following the goats. What the goats say. Follow your heart. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. As it is written. But that's what you've been taught. So that's how you feel. I'm going to follow my heart. Because you a heathen. You can't say you're an Israelite. You a heathen. Because your mindset is just like the goats. And he said, hey, all the sinners of my people in Amos 9 and 10 going to die by the sword. But you say you're not under the law. But you're going to die by the sword, the Most High said. You can eat shrimp, crab, lobster, anything you want to eat, as long as you pray over it. That's what's being taught. All the sinners of my people going to die by the sword. I say the evil shall not prevail or prevent me. Ain't going to come deal with me. When the Most High said, I created evil. But those that do the things that's contrary to what he would say that we're supposed to do. His rules and regulations. He going to bring evil upon you, like he did with us. We read about it. He said, hey, you don't hearken to my voice? I'm going to deal with you 7 times, a complete number of times. Put this curses on you. See what you're going to do then. Go to Genesis, the 13th chapter. Genesis, the 13th chapter. I'm going to look at verse 8. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife. See, don't let us argue with each other, Lot. You're my nephew now. I pray thee, between me and thee. Don't let no argument come between me and you. Unity. And between my herdmen and thy herdmen. For we be brethren, see? We be brethren. Unity. Say, don't want no strife, no arguing. No disagreement between us, me and you, Lot. It's our forefather Abram. So don't let there be no disagreement between us and our herdsmen going back and forth with each other. This is unity. Between the family and those that work for us. He said, is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, you take the left side, then I will go to the right. I'll go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. See how easy that was? Because they had a lot. And they couldn't actually stay on the same, plots of land. So he said, hey, you go to the left, I'll go to the right. You go to the right, I'll go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Most High, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar. So he left the land before the Most High, because Lot was involved with living in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. And so before he destroyed it, it was like the Garden of Eden. These wicked people living in the land like the Garden of Eden, doing all this wickedness.